Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are opening up a high-level, data-driven corporate briefing on honestly one of the most fascinating and lucrative food markets in the Middle East. Today we're focusing on Qatar. But look, we aren't just looking at what's sitting on the dinner table. We are decoding the massive, multi-tiered economic engine working behind the scenes. We're talking about the premium rice market and the absolute boom happening right now in Qatar's catering sector. If you're a business owner, an executive, or honestly just someone fascinated by global trade and food security, this explainer is going to show you exactly how a simple staple crop turns into a massive, multi-million-dollar business opportunity. Now, to really grasp the scale of this market, we have to start with this fundamental geographical and economic anomaly. Think about it. How does a nation with almost zero large-scale domestic agriculture actually manage to feed millions of residents, expatriate workers, and luxurious tourists every single day? It's like a giant high-stakes logistical puzzle. Qatar is obviously incredibly wealthy, but it simply doesn't have the land or the water to grow its own staple crops. So to survive, and more importantly to thrive and host the world on a global stage, Qatar has to rely heavily on world-class, deeply reliable supply chains. And this brilliantly illustrates the reality of that situation, nearly 100%. Because Qatar has virtually no domestic rice production, almost every single grain of rice consumed in the entire country has to be imported. But what's absolutely crucial for you to understand here is that rice isn't just some side dish in Qatar. It is the absolute foundation of the daily diet. Meeting this massive, unrelenting demand, well, it isn't just about loading food onto a ship. It's about executing flawless international logistics at an incredible scale. So let's move into Section 1, the demand engine, focusing on Qatar's catering sector. When we look at where the sheer volume of this demand actually comes from, we uncover this massively diversified B2B landscape. It's really easy to just assume demand comes from families buying bags of rice at the local supermarket. But looking a bit deeper into the market, we see luxury hotels and restaurants, massive corporate and labor camps, airline catering services, huge wholesale distributors, and even government institutions. We're talking about massive commercial entities that prepare thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of meals every single day. They don't just need rice, they need staggering volumes of rice that deliver reliable, identical performance batch after batch after batch. So what is actually fueling all this massive commercial demand? Well, we've identified four main pillars driving the catering boom. First up, there's the rapidly expanding hospitality sector. You've got luxury hotels and international restaurant chains literally popping up all across Doha. Second, look at the demographics. Qatar is home to millions of expatriates from South Asia and the Middle East, and for them, rice is a daily, non-negotiable staple. Third, you have massive corporate and industrial catering. Just think of the companies feeding absolute armies of workers in construction, energy, and infrastructure. And finally, international sporting and business events. Qatar has positioned itself as a global hub for conferences and tournaments. And every single time a major event rolls into town, the demand on catering services absolutely skyrockets. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 2, the product fit, and exactly why Pakistani Basmati wins in this market. In the high-stakes world of commercial catering, you quickly learn that not all rice is created equal. On one side, your standard commercial rice can really easily become sticky or clumpy when you try to cook it in massive bulk. And let's be honest, it can be pretty bland. But on the flip side, premium Pakistani Basmati offers these beautiful extra-long grains, incredible elongation when cooked, and a fluffy texture with excellent grain separation. Add in that authentic, rich, natural aroma, and you've got a product that performs exceptionally well during large-scale cooking. When a head chef is preparing giant vats of traditional Gulf dishes, things like kapsa, mandi, machboos, or biryani, they literally cannot afford mushy rice. Pakistani Basmati guarantees that premium presentation and that authentic flavor every single time. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the Pakistani rice market caters to every specific tier of Qatar's food sector. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all approach. For that super traditional flavor, you've got Super Basmati. For retail and luxury dining, where they really want those extra long grains, there's the 1121 Basmati. Your upscale premium restaurants, they often prefer the 1121 Steam Basmati for its bright white appearance and really soft texture. And then you have the absolute titan for high-volume catering, airlines, and large banquets, the 1121 Golden Sella. Let's actually deep dive into the 1121 Golden Sella for just a second, because this is truly the ultimate workhorse of the Qatari catering industry. Why? Well, it comes down to the brutal realities of commercial food service. Think about it. When you're catering a massive corporate event or loading thousands of meals onto an international flight, that food might be held at temperature for hours. Golden Sella has this fantastic firm texture and an attractive golden color, but most importantly, it is highly resistant to overcooking. It maintains its perfect grain separation and has just a phenomenal holding time. It's exactly what high-volume corporate kitchens demand to survive a busy service.
Okay, let's pivot to Section 3, the B2B playbook, and how you actually go about capturing the Qatari market.
If you are an exporter or a business leader looking to capture a slice of this massive market, you need a highly precise strategy. Here are your 4 steps to winning in Qatar. First up, you've got to build strong, direct relationships with importers and wholesale distributors. It's all about trust. Second, you have to guarantee consistent quality. Seriously, one bad shipment can ruin a multi-million-dollar catering contract. Third, offering flexible, private label packaging solutions is huge. It gives retailers and catering companies the branding control they really want. And fourth, you absolutely must maintain perfectly reliable logistics and shipping schedules. Out there in the Gulf food supply chain, predictability is honestly just as valuable as the product itself.
And a prime example of this in action is AHK Rice. They're basically the direct-to-Qatar solution that checks all of these boxes. They supply all those premium varieties we were just talking about, the Golden Sella, the Steam, the Super Basmati, but they go way beyond just throwing grain in a bag. They offer factory-direct wholesale pricing, customized private label solutions, and they handle all the complex, highly professional export documentation required to actually make those international shipments reliable. They act as this comprehensive, seamless bridge between the rice fields of Pakistan and the luxury hotels of Doha. So the crucial point is this. Long-term partnerships are essential for sustainable growth in one of the Gulf region's most attractive food import markets. Look, success in Qatar is not about making a quick buck on a one-off trade. It is all about becoming a dependable, deeply integrated part of their actual food security apparatus. When a major hotel chain or a massive airline catering service finds a supplier who consistently delivers premium quality alongside competitive pricing, they don't shop around. They lock them in for the long haul. Which leaves us with this final thought to consider. Qatar's hospitality, tourism, and food service industries, they are only projected to keep expanding. The demand engine is absolutely roaring right now. So as this market continues to soar, which exporters and business leaders are going to step up, deliver the rock-solid quality and reliability required, and essentially secure the future of the Gulf's premium food supply? It is a massive, multi-million-dollar opportunity waiting for those who can actually execute. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope this structured look at the data and the logistics has given you a crystal clear understanding of the dynamics at play in Qatar's catering boom. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.